Ace.
That's gonna get me every time. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of No Cap Space Post Game Show. I'm Tyler. We got Greer and Shawnee in the house holding it down for you today. As always, the Final Four is here. We have our first participants. They have punched their ticket all the way to Cleveland. South Carolina and Texas are on. Not Texas. Not Texas. I was thinking about my bracket.
Not Texas.
Yeah. NC State. Oh, damn. Did I wear this? Oh, damn.
Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor.
Damn. Oops, what a coincidence. But yes, NC State is headed to Cleveland, not Texas. That game caught me off guard. That's not how I really expected that to go. Isaiah James.
Texas.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Isaiah James. Oh my god. Oh my god. I mean,
she's having a breakout tourney.
Yes, she is the breakout player of this tournament. Absolutely. Like, she's been far from a scrub this entire, like, far from it. But the scoring performances that she is putting up at this point, and she did almost all that work in the first half. Like,
she had like 21 at the half, right?
Yeah, it was something along those lines. Like, it was
Texas 31, Isaiah 21, and I was like, oh my.
Yeah. No, it was getting sick, frankly. But for y'all, I mean, obviously Isaiah does her thing, but what sticks out? What sticks out, whether it be from Isaiah's game or for something larger from this game? What sticks out to y'all?
For me, it was, NC State's ability to knock down the three, right? Texas is a team, they're stingy. You know, they're probably the stingiest team in the country, and that is just Vic's brand. If you know Vic Schaefer, you know his teams don't give up a lot of points. And so the fluidity with which they were playing with in the first and second quarters just was alarming to me if I was a Texas fan and was counting on them moving on to Cleveland. So, this is a game probably where the absence of Rory Harmon
was felt. This was the one.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Able to piece it together after she went down in late December late
December. Yep.
But when it comes to this time, you need a player who can be a difference maker. And
yes.
On offense, there was no one on Texas who was doing that. Maddie Booker, I thought, could have been like a bit more aggressive, attacking NC State. And she was a little bit passive, still an incredibly talented player, an amazing freshman season. But Rory would have been that X factor, somebody who just comes in and changes the entire complexity of a game with her speed and quickness and decisiveness.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, go ahead.
Oh, my bad. Because that's exactly what I was thinking, a 10-point game. Like, that's really the difference between having Rory Harmon and not. And even, hoping to slow down James, you know what I'm saying? Like, if not on the defensive end, on the offensive end. Because if I score 20 in the first half, too, and kind of neutralize what you got going on, that helps as well. So I think they really did a great job of, managing without her. But they still need her. So in case there was ever any chatter, I might have just made up the chatter, but in case there ever was chatter, they need Rory Harmon. Because like you said, Madison Booker, this is a time when it's your freshman mind can only, think about so much. She hasn't been here before, so you need that leadership. So I'm excited to see what they got going on next year.
Yeah, next year's going to be crazy. When you get Rory back. They're not a young team, but I mean, what this season is going to end up doing for Madison Booker in the long run with her playmaking and her ball handling. Come on, man. It's incredible. But I do think that this was, I think when we were, I don't remember if we were on air or not when we talked about it, but when I was asked about, I think Greer, you brought it up, was how do you stop Madison Booker? And I didn't really have an answer for you because nobody has really been able to fully stop Madison Booker yet. Today, it felt like Madison Booker more so stopped herself. It felt like the aggressiveness, and that was that was one of the first times we've really seen that. I mean, she still put up 21 shots, but not all of them were great shots. A lot of them came kind of more towards the back end, it felt like. And this is where it kind of felt like, okay, we're getting that freshman itis here. This is where one of the first times where it's really kind of felt like she kind of hit that wall a little bit of being a freshman. And it was always a possibility of that happening. It just hadn't really seen it yet. There was a couple points I remember at the Big 12 tournament against Kansas State where Vic had to just tell her just to like relax and just pull her to a side when he called a timeout. And it felt like in that game, after that moment, we saw that happen. And obviously I was there to see if that happened today where there was that same, like a similar moment, but we never really kind of saw that exhale a little bit with Booker. And I think that was a major factor in Texas not being able to make it. But
I would also say like Texas, their strength is their size.
Yeah.
And NC State was able to neutralize that.
Mm-hmm.
River Baldwin held scoreless in the first half, but
Mm-hmm.
probably finishes the game with 10 points. Mimi Collins stepping out, hitting a couple timely threes.
Mm-hmm. Baldwin finished with 16.
Mm-hmm. Their ability to utilize Texas's size was key.
Yeah, super vital. And it's interesting because when thinking about kind of the what has happened this season where Texas has struggled, it's been perimeter play when they've able to get going. It's been fast break points. It's something that when Oklahoma beat the both times they beat them, like Oklahoma's known for being so fast paced, and that's similar to the difficulties that Texas had in this game. Was whenever NC State really kind of got rolling and were able to just speed it up. That's where Texas struggled, and especially a lot in that first half. A lot of the fast break points came, and I mean, like I said, when you have a player playing the way that Isaiah James is, even right now, even though most of that work came in the first half, like it's hard to guard because there were plays where she was making shots that weren't. It's not like they were playing bad defense. Like it was just Isaiah James just doing her absolute thing, and the rest of the team rounded it out. That's the important part. It's one thing to have a player that is popping off and having the run that she's having, but the rest of the team rounded it out with the River Bond, with the Mimi Collins, with Sanaya Rivers. Like these are all players that came in and really helped do, and Brooks off the bench too, 10 points. Yeah. So like these are all players that, yes, Isaiah James was absolutely the star of this game for NC State, but it felt like almost every player that got genuine minutes had a moment in this game where they contributed very, very heavily. So
this part is about being able to dictate pace. And I think that's what we've seen this weekend is even if you're turning the ball over a little bit, even if you're not hitting shots at a particular moment, it's like, the team that is dictating more how the game is being played has been more successful in every matchup that we've seen so far. Yeah.
It's at this point you're getting into where every team is good. Yes. But styles are going to clash, and a lot of times whatever team can win with their style and that style can dominate is going to win the game. And that's exactly what we saw today, where it felt like, and I can't say this happened many times this year, that Texas fell out of their element. Like Vic Schaefer teams with the way that they play offense, the way that they set the offense up and everything. It's very rare that you really get in this amount of time in a game where they feel out of their element. And
I don't feel sorry for them. They're going to be right back here.
I was going to say, hey, look, man, it's a good thing they're going to the SEC and not the ACC.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah. But one of the biggest stories from this game was before the game, where, and I can't believe this is a real sentence that I'm about to say, but the 3-point lines were uneven on either side. And they had Wes Moore and Vic Schaefer doing step by step and damn near falling over, trying to measure it pregame. And they decided to play the game to not delay it. Obviously, both teams get to play on both sides. So, like, you kind of get the equal opportunity there. But this has been a tournament full of questionable things, whether it be an uneven 3-point line, whether it be just the reffing in general. I know people have had a lot of
adults in charge are fucking up.
Yes, incredibly bad. Incredibly bad.
They're not handling the pressure.
The hotels with Utah, like with the racist remarks at the hotels, and then staying at a hotel that's not in the same state as the place that they're like. It's just so many random ass things that should not be. Like, there's no way. What do you mean the 3-point lines are uneven? How does that even happen?
So to be fair. No, but in all fairness, this is their first time actually caring about the women's tournament. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just got to use March Madness, so they're like, oh my God, we have to actually try and do things and such. Like,
It's funny
and,
you say that. It's funny you say that because the person in charge.
Yes, Lynn Holzman was the vice president of women's basketball in 2021 and oversaw the weight rooms, the swag bags, the March Madness branding, the food, like everything that went wrong in that tournament. And they're like, you know what? You keep going, bro. You're doing your thing. And now look, we over here we got tape measures out pregame.
And what I do, act more stupidly.
I've never.
That's insane. She really was under more scrutiny, and what did she do?
Act
more stupidly. That's crazy.
And people started going. Like, this has been at Portland the entire time. They just now realized this.
Yeah.
Like every game, they just now realize. What?
The picture, like if you see it, it is like painfully obvious.
Mm-hmm.
The only saving grace is we don't have a Kevin Durant in Brooklyn situation where you're like, your foot is on the line. Bruh, that would have been a nightmare to have a discussion about.
Oh yeah.
Teams are shooting worse too. Like they've been showed. They showed in the NC State Texas game, like the difference in 3-point percentage too.
Is that the teams we want to? I mean, I know, but
it's like again, just like these athletes deserve better. They just deserve.
They do.
Are going to be dotting their I's and crossing their T's, and this is yet again, Duke and like UConn and Houston, like they're not having these issues. It doesn't happen for them.
Are we sure? Because that game was nasty. Go check the lines. Go check the levels. Go check the air quality in that gym because that game was kind of, I don't know, man.
No. I'm talking about the men's side, though. Like,
I was gonna say, that definitely ain't the game. It's hard.
Sorry. I'm in the men's side. Those teams are like so lot. And they just don't deserve
But but you're right. Like, that's not.
Yeah, no.
Imagine if this happened in the Elite Eight of the men's tournament. What? Like, come on.
A riot. Someone would be burned at the stake, like, by halftime of the next game.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, unacceptable across the board. Like, there's no other way. Like, there's no way that this should be happening. Like I said, I don't even know like what the order of mistakes that has to happen to have uneven 3-point lines. Like, I don't know how you get to this point.
Get Disney on Ice off the court, and then you're rushing.
I don't know, but joining NC State in the Final Four, the team that is still undefeated, South Carolina. This was a great game. This was fun. I really like. These were two teams that, I mean, obviously South Carolina has been no secret this entire season, but Oregon State has been a team that we've been rocking with. We've been covering this entire season, and they showed up. Like they showed up. Like, this was not. It felt like every time South Carolina was just about to pull away in this one, Oregon State would hit a three and they would be right back in it. Like, they were fighting the entire game. Shawnee, this is your squad. What are some of the? I'll let you ISO here. What are some of the takeaways?
It was concerning because they're similarly constructed as we are. You have a really talented big, and you got shooters around her. So, and them shooters were shooting.
Mm-hmm.
Their talented freshman was shooting too. Donovan was cooking.
Donovan was hooping. Hansford was.
Oh my goodness!
The timely threes.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that they kind of used a little bit from the Indiana playbook of pulling our bigs out and letting their bigs shoot. And that was the difference. Like, those threes kept them in the game. Those threes kept them afloat. Those threes kept it close. So to me, we dug deep. Refs did get in the way a little bit. I ain't gonna hold you. It was a couple of questionable calls on both sides, and I was like, all right, stop. Don't piss me off. Like, that's enough. But nobody fouled out, so that was good. Mm-hmm. But it was annoying. I still think she's a little tight. I know I said it with my full chest last game, and it's kind of easy to like let things go because we're in the Final Four. But the lineups, like, I'm looking, and Pow was like 2 for 10.
She was 2 for 10, 1 of 7 from 3.
Yeah. So, and I had tweeted that I was like, this pains me deeply. It hurts. Like, my fingers are bleeding typing this, but like, pull her.
Yeah.
You know, we got to get Malaysian. We got to get Tessa. And Tessa was my God.
Fantastic.
Oh, my God. When she gets the green light.
Yeah, she's going to be one of them ones. She is fantastic.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
That's our little hidden gem X factor. And so to see, you know, like Bree Hall wasn't bad either, but it was like when you have the two of them that are pretty much on the second they step on the court, minimum mistakes. Why are we so stuck in like, you know, playing the starters up until this exact second and then we put them in, or this exact minute, and then like, no, we got to be a little more fluid because we need that energy. You know, that's how, you know, Donovan Hunter was cooking and Malaysia beat her junk off the glass. She was keeping up with her. She's able to, you know, match her step for step. So I'm just kind of like, let the kids play, man. Like, don't be so stiff and let the kids play. But other than that, you know, Camilla came to play Ashlyn Watkins. Oh my gosh, bro.
Yeah.
Like the energy, the effort, she
put back.
I swear I thought she was about to like genuinely put back dunk that one. I had to like grab on to like I was on the couch.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
whoa. Hey.
Hey.
And that's like top 3 because I'm still stuck on the play where she contested like 2-3 different people and then still dove out of bounds to try and save the ball in one play. Man, she was everywhere. So shout out to her. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm never concerned about the players on the court, the energy they're giving, the Macarena, anything. Like, I'm cool with what everybody's doing. It's just putting the right people on the court is my primary concern moving forward.
Yeah, I still think to another example of like Camilla was at 1.6 of 8, like couldn't make a bad decision on offense, and it just seemed like getting it to her was challenging, and that's when Oregon State was like going on their runs, you know. And Oregon State's just a good team. Like I mentioned, we watched them a ton this year, and it's no surprise to us that they got this far and were able to give South Carolina, you know, one of their closest games all year, you know. So like super excited about where they're headed. They've got no seniors on their team. Everybody's returning. Sucks that they're going to like a
that's what's gonna be interesting.
I am concerned about how do they maintain like this level of play if they're not playing super good teams, you know?
Right. Yeah, and that it does seem like when we talked to Talia and earlier in the season when we interviewed Talia von Oelhoffen, like it seems like this is a group that is so behind Oregon State. Like where that's why pretty much any other team, I'd be like, oh, they're going to that conference. Oh yeah, you see ya. Laporte about to be loaded up. But the way that this team has been talking the entire time, the way that the Scott Rourke has been talking the entire season about this team, and it doesn't seem like an exodus is about to happen.
Yeah,
obviously we gotta wait and see, but like I would be shocked, frankly, even with the change in conferences.
Healthy, so, I expect them to be right back here next year.
You know, they're pissed.
Incredibly talented team. The foul freeze, the fouling and when the calls were made, incredibly questionable. You know, these are just big girls down there banging. Like we're talking about girls who are 6'3" and up. Yeah. Like us peons, we don't understand what it's like to you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I wish the refs would have, you know, swallowed the whistles a little bit more, but that's a man, like, whoo, what a performance.
Yeah, she was the standout for me today. Was Tessa
super calm, corner threes, floaters, like she had a lot of
her bag is deeper than I thought. Like when she's hitting the Euros, I was like,
that was
exactly.
I was taken aback on several plays from her, like just kind of just like, oh damn, I didn't know she had that. Like that.
Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah, but I mean, like that, like she just played winning basketball today. Like the types of plays that she was like. I know that's such a kind of vague statement, but like it just every time she was on the court, it felt like South Carolina was able to build cushion. It felt like she was impacting the game in positive ways every time she was on the court. Every single
exactly. So it's like, why not have her on the court more time? Like, are we scared of like?
This is a fantastic point. This
like,
oh, maybe she'll stop being positive, so I gotta only use her in spurts.
It's really like, again, just the fact that you can play like 9 deep, Basically.
Oh, I know you're jealous of that right now.
Incredibly.
Oops.
You know, like
Hey.
and
Hold up, bro.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, I am jealous. It's a luxury, you know. Yeah, Tessa would be starting on so many more teams across the country,
yeah.
you know. So, and then to come out in this game and have that performance, shout out to her. She did that.
Yeah.
So I'm curious now, who's gonna get the Sanaya Rivers matchup?
Incredibly, my daughter has a chance to do something truly incredible.
Could you imagine?
Oh my gosh!
Could you?
All right.
Could you imagine?
That's enough.
Could you imagine? I'm just saying, because.
Yeah, I mean, but the Bojangles Bowl is gonna be fun. I do think that.
Oh, it's
but like, oh man, revenge tour.
For the reasons that she outlined why she left South Carolina, like she's getting that opportunity to do that at NC State, and then to potentially do it against South Carolina. Like I know the committee when they put the teams in their respective brackets, like we talked about how messy they were.
Oh, incredibly.
But when I say they are giving us some absolute deep cuts.
Oh yeah.
No, you really got to be tapped in to know what this mess is.
Yeah, exactly. To know what's going on right now. So I love it. Things are full circle, and I'm excited for that game.
Yeah, that one's gonna be fun. Like I frankly think that on paper, like if you compare the chances against South Carolina between Oregon State and NC State, I'd say Oregon State has a better chance.
Right.
But the way that James is playing right now, if she's able to do this against South Carolina, which is much easier said than done, obviously. But anything can happen, man.
Anything can happen, but you know.
It's Malaysia 1v1. Malaysia 1v1. Let's go.
Queen of the Court society is going to the national championship.
Yeah, exactly.
The thing is, they have 5 days of prep to do. Like if this is like the Elite Eight matchup, I feel a little bit more confident about their chances. But I mean, NC State has the same amount of time to prepare as well. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens.
Wes Moore, he beat the allegations.
Time. Come on, Wes.
He's beat the allegations so far.
Man.
We've been listen, we have not been the most positive about Wes Moore, but he's made it to the Final Four. He
keeps getting away with this.
Unranked.
From unranked,
yeah.
No, NC State is
Wes Moore got it out the mud.
Genuinely, one of the best stories of this season has been NC State. And man, if they were to do that, come on.
All right, you're a little too excited.
Come on. I'm just
all right.
Sorry,
look,
I'm just
man.
neutral. I'm just neutral. But in other news, kind of off outside of the games today, we touched on yesterday with Kim Mulkey in the LA Post article. Today, Haley Van Lith was asked about it.
I'm like,
LA Post. Jeez.
Yeah. Well, no, we're confusing one relevant article with the irrelevant one.
Yes, sorry, I'm getting there. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna get to that. But Haley Van Lith was asked about the LA Times article and went pretty deep. It was like a 2-minute clip or so about the racism that this LSU team has faced and the perspective that she has as she said, like pretty frequently being one of the only white players on the teams that she's played on. Shawnee, I know you tweeted out, you raised an ally. That's you raised an ally, but we also never really touched on the Washington Post article with Kim Mulkey. So
boring.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Surprisingly, LSU has stuff going on off the court.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Shawnee, go ahead.
Because, I know we talked yesterday and said, like, it's a little bit complex because there are black players, predominantly black players in that starting lineup on both sides. But, like, I'm never going to stop a white player from calling a white man racist. So, yeah, let's do it. I'll rally behind you. Let's go. If a black player saying a white man's racist, like, let's do it. Let's do it. So if they're rallying and that's what's going on and they've decided that that's the narrative, then it's racist. We going with it. We rolling. And it is interesting because everybody kept saying, like, how come Mulkey didn't say this? And it's like, well, that would force Kim Mulkey to confront some evils within.
Yeah, it was interesting that she was that. I think that was my biggest takeaway from it was in the press conference where Mulkey was talking about the LA article.
He said, "I'm gonna do sexism."
It was sexism. Yes, it was only sexism and nothing else.
We're gonna do a fusion dance.
Yeah, If you put them together, you have
the complete social issue. Yeah, exactly.
But that's what was interesting to me. It was just how like forward, and I don't remember the exact question that Haley was asked about it. But she was very just open and forward about like, yeah, this is racist. And like that's what it gave off more to me was more racist than sexist when I read that LA article. But Mulkey obviously wasn't the one to say that. It was Haley, which I don't think anyone is frankly shocked by that. But it was just interesting to see that perspective from the LSU side coming from, because we just haven't seen, because Mulkey so far had been the one that would have had the opportunities to really kind of say that, and she never took them. So now Haley Van Lith has done that, and for me it was just refreshing to see from
good on her. Like it's like these at the end of the day, these are still young people, 21, 22, 18 to 22 year olds navigating, like just growing up, their frontal lobe hitting harder and more. You know what I mean? Like
it's still soft.
Felt that, yeah, felt that.
And Haley is in an interestingly situated. She is a player who, white, blonde hair, blue-eyed. She's been incredibly famous for 4 or 5 years.
All the deals, like she was one of the original NIL deals within women's basketball.
One of the first freshmen to come in, and somebody who already had close to 1 million followers.
Overtime graduate.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and then coming to the SEC, like Haley's had her own pressure this year
for sure.
In her career to perform. She talks trash and she's not shy about it. So I do appreciate her like going out on a limb and saying, these are my teammates. I love playing with them, and how they're treated. It's just not. It's not fair, and it's not right.
Especially before this game in particular, because she harped on the fact that it's trash. Like her example was a trash talking, where the people, when she talks trash versus when Angel talks trash, it's a very different conversation being had, and different parties involved with those conversations. So I think
she actually gets to slide. She gets to skate a lot because like nobody's really paying attention. Like you got to be locked in to see the Haley Van Lith trash talking, because then like people pointed out like, oh, we don't lose on senior night, stuff like that. So she recognizes that like she has a privilege of being in the background while Angel is in the forefront. So she recognized. So good on her for recognizing the differences in the two.
Yeah, and even last year though, like when you look at when Caitlin and HBL matched up earlier in the tournament versus the reaction to the Angel and Caitlin, like because they were going both games were back and forth, and obviously there was way more eyes on the LSU Iowa matchup, but nobody was like, I mean that's the kind of the case study right there. Frankly, is
it gets lost in the shuffle that Caitlin was yelling at HBL.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So I mean. It's interesting to, like I said, obviously there's been so much going on with the Washington Post article, like the kind of build up to that, and then it dropped. And frankly, it was kind of just stuff that not to like minimize what was in the article but for people that may be tapping into women's basketball, it probably was new information. For people that have been around, I don't think anybody was surprised about anything, or it felt new about anything that was said in that article. And I felt the writing, frankly, was a whole lot of like, yes, Mulkey is homophobic, but and then it kind of just went back and forth and never like fully kind of stood on one part of it. And that's where I kind of think it missed the mark a little bit. But yeah, obviously that article wasn't the, kind of the home run, like big thing that she made it out to be. It
was gonna be, it
was just the build up from her.
They weren't
when has Mulkey ever put out a statement like that?
It's also like, I don't know, you worked on the story for 2 years for that. Okay. Like, I don't know, you could have.
Yeah. Because that's my thing. Like when I opened it and I saw it started at her childhood home and we're like talking about war memories with her dad, I was like, I didn't come here for this. Is she going to jail? So I'm scrolling and I'm like, are her emails in here? Like, I used my one free Washington Post article for this. This is ridiculous. Like, I don't know, but I feel like her reaction is a little telling, because that means there's some more stuff out there. Because if you thought you was gonna find some stuff and you started panicking, like, and then this was
the best attorneys, the best legal defense. Like,
she was ready to be like, I got a lawyer up. I don't know, man. Mulkey, I feel like there's some skeletons out there, and in 2 years, go back and dig again.
And
that's all I'm saying.
If they're able to beat Iowa tomorrow, like again, maybe not super likable, even though I don't know, I feel like I'm personally warming up a little bit. Like not the entire, there's people that I like in the situation, but like when you talk about a bullseye, like truly having a target, you got journalists, you got fans, you got players.
Downfalls are being preyed on, like real bad.
Like, and if they
across the board,
I'm just saying, like even getting past Iowa would be crazy with all that they've like, whether it's whether they're bringing it on themselves or not. Like it's still just a really hard position for people to be in and still ascend, And
low key. I don't, because I'm kind of like, on the one hand, that's what she wants you to think. She's got you right where she wants you. Because it's like, you got these big name transfers. Because like Anissa Morrow is no slouch. Haley Van Lith is no slouch. You have a championship.
Isn't this her first NCAA tournament?
Yeah, but that's where Angel comes in to grab her face and tell her what she needs to know along this journey. So I'm kind of like, you have a championship roster and then you leveled up. But then she gets in the conferences, she's like, oh, we're just a humble 3 seed, so I don't know how this is gonna go. And and does stuff like that to like minimize the slander. And no, I'm turning it up. It's no. I'm never.
The slander's it's not stopping. I'm just saying, like.
Oh yeah, no.
Like to make it through,
with the bracket, like March Madness already being as rigorous as it is, they're not making it easier on themselves, or the outside pressure that is being put on them isn't making.
And neither am I, so I agree with you there. Like, it's happening.
Yeah, and it's I mean, tomorrow, we can dive into just a little bit, but like tomorrow, to kind of think of the preview of what we're about to see, like. The record for viewership is 9.9 million views, which was the championship game last year between LSU and Iowa. Obviously, that was on ABC, which changes the game a little bit. But
we got a 4-hour block tomorrow.
This is, I mean, I'm not gonna act like I went back and fact checked it, but I can't imagine that there's been a more hyped like doubleheader than this one. That in like the history of women's basketball being actually shown on TV. I can't imagine that there's one off the top of my head.
I mean, we've had like singular matchups, and we've had
but
UConn versus.
We can't say like in terms of their celebrity today with Caitlin, Angel, Flage. I cannot Paige and Juju, like. The 5 of them, like their level of celebrity now, I think it's unrivaled. And,
whoa.
It has to be, right? Like
that's just I can't imagine like just off the top of my head, like I can't like
we've had stars for sure before, but
absolutely.
It's like 1 star per team, per region, per conference. It's been kind of spread out a little bit. We've never had like a log jam of NIL, the NIL girls,
Yeah, it's tomorrow's gonna be insane. Let's get the pre-game thoughts. How are you feeling about going into this USC game?
I'm feeling pretty good. I think it's gonna be difficult. I'm happy that they're fixing the 3-point lines before the game. I'm feeling good. Obviously, challenging Juju, making the game difficult on her is going to be key, and I think we do have a few options on the perimeter to do that.
Okay.
I like Aaliyah versus Rhea. I do. Obviously, stay out of foul trouble. That's a big piece. But I do like the matchup, and I'm expecting Ashlyn to bounce back. Yeah, I like the other 3, the KK, the Ashlyn, and the Nika versus KP, Caitlin, and Mackenzie Forbes. That's where the game's going to have to be won, right?
Yeah. Okay.
I can get with that.
I like her chances.
Okay, because I was going to ask you that. Do you think like y'all got all of that funk out? Against Duke.
So I don't want to see that again.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, man.
Okay.
I mean, if that's what it takes to win, I guess, but it's not my first You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I do want the game to actually live up and be exciting and
yeah, we got too many hoes watching for y'all to pull that again.
Really be a display of what we all know the game can be. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, to your point though, Grimm, Mackenzie Forbes, I feel like is the factor like here where, because I genuinely think that Mackenzie Forbes can be the reason USC could win it all. I think like the way that she has been playing, she has been contributing to that level, and we didn't really see that in the Duke game, or I mean in the Baylor game, excuse me. Like, so that is kind of what I'm looking at. Is just if she can get back to like that 20-point range, as opposed, I think she was like at 14 or so, give or take. So like if she's closer, if she's 20 plus, USC is probably going to be a pretty good chance of winning, assuming that Juju is doing Juju things. But we're genuinely seeing. I mean, Paige has an argument to say that she's the best player in the nation right now. Caitlin Clark has an argument to say that she's the best player in the nation right now. Juju Watkins has an argument to say that she's the best player in the nation right now. LSU has
Flau'jae is playing.
Flau'jae, yes. You know? She absolutely is the level that she's playing at right now. She has an argument to say, I am one of the best in the nation right now. And we get to see them all in just 2 games, back to back. Can't believe this is my life.
And only one upperclassman out of all of those names. Like that's okay. No, Caitlin's about to go. Never mind.
So, but like I mean, everyone else is coming back. Like
don't fact check me. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's just just happy to be here. You know.
Yeah.
I'm just happy to be here. But no, tomorrow's gonna be something else. It's gonna be something.
It's gonna be crazy.
We're gonna see who's gonna be joining Oregon State, or I keep getting it wrong. Oh my goodness, I'm all over the place.
Misinformation.
I know.
Nah, you were so set to mess that you're just.
I know. I was ready for it. South Carolina and NC State, who's going to be joining them in Cleveland? I hope they got their tape measures out already in Cleveland. As soon as the plane touches down, I need tape measures out. I need just check-in jewelry. I need like what else? Hotels good distance away from the arena. Like, please, because what the hell are we doing? So
I would like a controversy-free evening of hoops.
Please, let's just get hoops, man.
Because like we already got him in Cleveland. Don't make this much more difficult than Yeah.
Make it worse. Like, come on, man. What are we doing?
Imagine having to stay in Cincinnati. I don't even know how far that is. Because who knows, like Ohio geography? Leave me alone.
But I'm excited for tomorrow. We will be back here tomorrow, right?
We will be back here tomorrow night.
Yes.
Woo! Talk to him. I'm sorry, I got excited because we're going to be back here.
I don't know what the hell we're going to be talking about.
I hope I'm happy and I'm super happy.
Yes.
I can't believe my life.
At least me and Tyler are going to be back at least.
Yes. No, what? Listen, Greer's gonna be here. Okay, I'm pulling the boss lady card. Greer's gonna be here.
I feel like I'm already nervous.
Like she's either we're getting a generational Greer performance one way or the other. It's either gonna be on one. There's two ends of the spectrum we could be on, and we're gonna get it regardless.
She goes full LA or.
Listen, either way I win. So
there's a pivot. There's always a pivot.
It's crazy.
There's always a pivot.
I can't believe this is my life.
No, but tomorrow, one way or another, we're gonna witness some level of history. I don't know exactly what that's gonna look like. I have no idea. But legacies are gonna be cemented tomorrow. Starting tomorrow, legacies are cemented genuinely with these level of matchups. So we're gonna be here live for another post game as soon as USC and UConn concludes. So you know the place to be. You know to subscribe down below, hit the bell so you're notified every time we go live. The Twitter, the Substack, the playback, all those links are down below so you can stay tapped in with a no cap space. And we will see y'all back here tomorrow night after witnessing some history, after witnessing legacy cemented in one of the biggest nights in women's basketball with Final Four spots on the line.
Go subscribe to our Substack because I'm just going to go do the monkey. I'm going to go find what they didn't find. So subscribe to our Substack and I'm going to get you the article.
There you go. All right. Subscribe, hit the notifications, and we'll see y'all tomorrow night after some history.